Good evening and welcome to the 10th 9-series anthology. I can't believe we're up to 10 already. These poets that I have submitted to MotherFlux, have put MotherFlux together, are Jem Henderson, JP Seabright and Erica Gillingham. Now, Jem and JP have worked with 9 pens before for when we put together MotherFlux, which was, I think, number 4 of these series. Thanks, Jem. Right on cue. And so great was the poetry that they've come back for another round, and this time they brought Erica with them. So I'm really, really pleased to be able to publish this anthology from these 3. I want to say different poets, but not different in a disparaging way. Different in a kind of out of the box, writing in a kind of new and I'm going to go down the road with all these poetic cliches, aren't I? Like, you know, vibrant, urgent, necessary work, but you know. But yeah, it really is. And I think as you hear the poetry this evening, you'll see and you'll hear how on the button they are in terms of their subject matter and what they're talking about. So, MotherFlux, I'll stop waffling on and give you the blurb for this excellent anthology. So, MotherFlux is the collaborative work of 3 queer parent poets from the margins of motherhood and otherhood. From embryonic dreamers and pregnancy performers to sleep-deprived newbies and seasoned second-timers, their poems are raw, messy and unflinching reflections on what it means to be a parent and to make a family. The pamphlet considers gender, sexuality, politics and the body as it moves between heightened individual experiences to outright rejections of societal expectations. These are voices recording in real time, mothering in flux. See, it says everything I was trying to say in a much better way. Excellent. And being a brand new parent myself, I've kind of got a deeper understanding and gratefulness for these kind of poems as well. So yeah, it's all in here. So the 3 poets that we've got this evening are Jem Henderson. Them is a genderqueer poet from Leeds, winner of a Creative Future Award for underrepresented writers. MotherFlux, their first collaboration came out February 2022, and Other Mother, their first pamphlet, is out now with 9 pens. Excellent work, Jem. Thank you very much. And a collaborative collection with Chris Campbell, Small Plates, is available from Broken Sleep. Yeah, if you've not read Another Mother by Jem, excellent work as well. I think I'll probably have to give you a full-time job, Jem. Just come and work at the press, it'd be great. So Erica Gillingham, her is a queer poet, writer and bookseller living in London via Siskiyou County, California. Hope I got that right, Erica. She works as a bookseller at Gaze the Word Bookshop and serves as the poetry editor for the Signal House edition. Her debut poetry pamphlet, The Human Body is a Hive, was published by Verve Poetry Press, and her poetry and essays have been published in various journals, anthologies and radio, including 100 queer poems, 365 poems for life, Queer Love, and on BBC Radio 4's Shortcuts. She exists online at www.ericagillingham.com and at Erica Reads Queer. Put all of these in the chat. You don't need to kind of go back over and try and write them down. And finally, you'll understand in a second why I'm doing all 3 poets at once. Okay, I'm not kind of trying to bore you to death by just giving you all the blurbs and then the biographies. So JP Seabright, they is a queer disabled writer living in London. They have 4 solo pamphlets published and 2 collaborations encompassing poetry, prose and experimental work. They explore themes of gender, sexuality, trauma and the climate crisis in their work and have been nominated for a Pushcart Prize, Best of the Net and Forward Prize twice, as well as shortlisted twice for a Saboteur Award for Best Collaborative Work. Okay, so bio's done, blurb done. And the reason why is usually if you've been to 9 pens before, for the anthologies, we have 1 poet, they read a set, then we have the next poet and they read a set, and then the 3rd poet reads a set. But as I said at the beginning, These three poets like to do things a little bit different. So they will be jumping in and out and reading poems one after the other on a carousel. That's the right word, isn't it? Carousel. So we've got a carousel of poets for you this evening. Okay. I'm going to stop talking in a minute because I'm pretty sure everyone's going to zone out otherwise. I will put the poems in the chat so you can read along as we go. Okay. I'll put all the links in there to everyone's pamphlets, everyone's websites, and everyone's Twitter as well. And I just want to say thank you all for coming. And I'm going to hand over to JP, who is going to bring some much needed sanity to the start of this poetry reading. So over to you, JP.
Thank you very much, Colin. I'm pretty sure there won't be a lot of sanity coming from my direction. As some of you might have gathered, I'm solo parenting this evening as it happens, so there might be a few interruptions. So forgive me if I look distracted or have to turn the camera off at some point. But happy Mother's Day first, foremost, however you might sort of define motherhood to most of the world who's celebrating Mother's Day today. So my first poem is called Pregnancy Test. I don't think it really needs much context and explanation. I'm going to dive straight in, which is pretty much what happened at the time. Pregnancy Test. I had an attempt to inject some romance as I insert the syringe inside you. Press the plunger to splurge a stranger's sperm into your vagina. My left hand holding onto yours, squeezed tight in concentration, eyes misty with emotional intensity, this moment of conception. But it doesn't work that first time, or the next repeated performance with fixed smiles and crossed fingers and several injections of hormones. A few missed months of tears and stress, some extra and expensive tests. You get pregnant on the fourth attempt. I'm not even there to make pretend that I'm the one impregnating you with this dollop of donated goo. It's almost emasculating, the irrelevance of my presence. I feel I failed the first test with so many more to come. All those times when I am less than, just a spare pair of hands to wipe bottoms and wash bottles, neither mother nor father, but both, and something other. I will not take it for granted.
So when we started compiling this, I was very recently pregnant. I don't remember when it was. I feel like I was very recently pregnant, with my second baby, who is here now and is 8 months old and is a delight. And if you come to the live launch, you might get to meet her. But so this is the first kind of piece that I wrote upon going, what are we going to do? Let's do queer parenting as a sequel to gender books. So yeah, we invited Erica in because John, our former collaborator, doesn't have children currently. So we had to rack our brains. Erica very kindly came and read at the launch of Gender Flux, which is the first and only time we've met in person. And so, yeah, Erica wrote some amazing, all those poems about pregnancy that Erica did in her first book were amazing. So yes, that is how the collaboration was born. And this is one of the first things that I wrote when we started. So this is, your baby is the size of a grain of rice. Your second baby is easier, they say. You've already been through this. The nausea, the first fluttering kick. Half remember the water birth, the silence cut with first cry, the gristle of the umbilical cord. But I have forgotten it all. Afterbirth, mastitis, 8 years of no sleep, nappies, ABCs, nursing, nursery, robot noises, Lego, hospital visits. I've forgotten the rules. Obviously no beer, no cigs, but no soft cheese, no sushi, no pate, no vitamin A, even though I've taken my cod liver oil daily since I found out. It's just a week. Is that okay? I remember the grasp of a tiny fist pulling at my hair, fiddling with the teething necklace. The flirty grab of a bum cheek, the only intimacy for weeks. Co-sleeping, separate beds, arguments, separation, new city, primary school, new friends, new lovers, new papa this time round. I've forgotten the terror. Exhausted, lying awake, stressing about maternity leave, stretch marks, my swelling body, the cost of living, the cost of dying, worrying that writing poems about miscarriage have jinxed me into having a real one.
I'm so grateful to have been invited to work with JP and Jem on this pamphlet. As Jem said, I had the opportunity to read with them at the launch of MotherFlux, which was so much fun in South London. Yes, it's the only time Jem and I have met in person for the first time. JP and I are local queer parents and have become friends through Gaze the Word bookshop, which is where I work. And my first book, The Human Body is a Hive, half of it chronicled the multiple rounds of IVF and fertility treatment that my wife and I had trying to have a child. And so that's sort of the context for my poems. We were eventually successful after 5 attempts, and I carried our son, who is now 2.5. And this first poem that I'm going to read to you was written during my pregnancy, and the kind of wonder, but also the shock of that in some ways. This is called I Can't Feel You, But. I can't feel you, but the lavender has never smelled more amazing. I've stopped checking the loo roll for signs of spotting. I don't have much of an appetite until I do, mixed with waves of nausea, and I am 6 again, in a tent, awake, beside my father, also awake, scared, needing to pee, worried I'm going to be sick, really just frightened of the noises outside. My father tells me to take deep breaths, to think to myself, I'm not going to throw up. I'm not going to throw up, until I fall asleep. And then I'm standing upright with one hand on the chipped laminate countertop and breathe, packing my bag, grabbing my keys, leaving the house with you.
So my next one includes an Italian phrase. In fact, quite a few of the poems I have in here have references to Italy or use a sort of Italian words. This is because my wife is Italian, so our daughter is being brought up bilingual, is half Italian. So the phrase in this is a kind of quite a common phrase, is piena come un uovo, and it means full like an egg. And it's something you say in Italy when you've basically just eaten too much food and you're stuffed, and you say, piena come un uovo, I'm full like an egg. So that's a little bit of reference for you. Okay, this is called Tongue-Tied. Piena come un uovo, your roundness containing a new world within, one I dare not penetrate, for fear I might crack the shell, break the spell we have created. Our bilingual baby, vocal yet inarticulate, my tongue tied as I hold her arms down to stop her moving. Mama held back in fear, don't look now as the lingual frenulum is cut. For there is blood and tears, like Abraham sacrificing Isaac, without the morale pat from God. Ankyloglossia gone, we shake with outrage at what we have done. The consultant reassures that all will be well. My wife offers her breast to this untethered mouth. Blood mingles with milk, She sucks and I feel sick with fear of how I could do such a thing to my child. Piene come un uovo. My heart is full like an egg as her tongue tries words from two motherlands, crying her way into a world that little understands how we three make a family, our tongues let loose with love.
So I'm going to read the next poem. And this is discussing the impact that pregnancy had on my body because of the fertility treatments. I had to do daily injections of my wife, who is medically trained, would not approve of this, but it's I would refer to it as a blood thinning medication. And then I had other injections that I had to do for the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. And that was an interesting process, to say the least. This is called Mending a Constellation of Bruises. Mending a constellation of bruises. Each morning, a new bruise, alternate parts, thighs, stomach, pinpricks bloom into supernovas. In the mirror, black cotton pants, metal tube of arnica, cold, gently applied to each injection site. The constellation marking the body weeks into pregnancy. Risk and possibility, each new star burns. Their lives now shorter than the one who is growing.
This is one I wrote, real life story, like a real thing that happened. So I it's called Nazi Brass-Sized. A dad at the school gates, neck tattooed with 88. It could be the year he was born. We're all about that age. But I stood a few more steps away, looked around when he looked my way. And now my tits betray me. 30 HH, the label says. Totalitarian titties, brown shirt knockers, fleshy, fashy bosoms, which I can barely hold up my back a wreck. And most men can no longer look me in the eyes. Thank you.
Thank you both for holding the fort. Apologies, everyone, for massive tech and parenting challenges to this end. Can you hear me and see me okay? Because I can't tell from my phone. Okay, this one is called I Want to Be in That Hug. This event happened about a year ago, but still happens literally on a daily basis. I want to be in that hug. My daughter cries from the toilet seat. Now she can sit on her own with big girl pants. My wife and I take a rare opportunity to hold on to each other, like storms, spots, ships and nights, to briefly touch each other, to acknowledge each other's tired, battered down patch of a body, to remember who we were to each other and rediscover who we've become. And after wiping herself, washing her hands, she runs to join us, and we sweep her up to one fierce animal bundle, holding on tight as we sway unsteadily and lounge together, hoping that she never forgets how loved she is in a world where this is in short supply, and how lucky we are to live in a country where our family is legally allowed to exist. And when she tells everyone with pride in her voice when picking up the nursery, I've got two mummies, that she always retains this sense of self-worth, who she is, where she comes from. Because we can't help worrying that she'll suffer for this from our choice to bring the child into the world to be self-defense and destruction, when all we can do is love each other, the more hold on to it. Well,
So before we even tried attempting to have a child, this was one of my concerns of getting this question, which one is the mother? And we actually haven't gotten that question yet, but this is still my response. Coat on, coat on, coat on, and boots. Yes, your boots. Yes, your boots on. That's it. Into the buggy. Go on. Climb into the buggy. Green. Yes, it's green. Yes, green and white. It's time to go, my sweet. We need to go. No, no, your bus stays at home. I know you love your bus. Yellow school bus. Yes, yellow school bus stays home. Baby, go outside. Yes, outside. Day day. Day day. Day day. No, you don't need your day day. No, you're okay. No, you're okay. Fine, fine. Here is your day day. We need to go. Yes, mama go to bookshop. Mummy go to hospital. Baby go to childcare. Yes, that's the sun. Blue sky, gray sky, airplane. High five, high five. Car, blue car, anti-blue car. Yes, just like aunties. Dog, dog. Hello, dog, dog. Hello, morning. Hello, how are ya? Car, car, red car. E-I-O, E-I-O, A, B, C, D, L, M, N, O, P. Next time, won't you sing with me? Car, car, almost there. Here we are. Here we are. Knock, knock. Baby, do it. Bye, bye, baby. Bye, bye.
I love that poem, and that was a fantastic reading, Erica. It's weird because I mean, Jem mentioned we've only actually met the three of us before once in real life, and our sort of collaborative process was quite sporadic, and we didn't actually get a lot of time with each other. It was all done all online because, of course, we're all busy working parents. So it's actually really nice to kind of hear each other's poems sort of read out loud. And although my daughter's now 4.5, I can really totally relate to all of that still. So this next one of mine is called Mummy, You're a Boy. Mummy, you're a boy, my daughter declares with confidence. No, I'm not, I reply, with some lack of certainty. Girls can have short hair too, I say, the word girl sticking in my throat like her pink plastic Kiko. She pauses, gives this some thought. Mummy, you're a girl boy. I shrug. We accept this as truth. I always imagined I'd make a good dad. Play with my kid, encourage them in everything they do, tell them I love them just like my own father didn't. I shrug. Accept my truth as girl boy, mum, dad. Sometimes we make our own role models.
Love that. Thank you. So this one, I think I wrote in. Was this the one? I can't remember. I've lost track. I think I wrote this in response to a gender flux poem, but I couldn't tell you which one off the top of my head. I think there's two that are kind of the same, like in response, but completely different. And I had to look up a couple of names in this because I didn't know how to pronounce them. So if I get them wrong, then that's where we are. I'm actually going to read from a different document than the one that is the one we're sharing because I wrote them out phonetically, so I don't get it wrong. So this is Girls Play. How come grown-ups don't get to play dress up? I don't remember the last time I got to wear a princess dress. In their canonical texts of game studies, both Heisinger and Kawai relegate dress up dismissively to the sphere of girls' play. I put on a dress I feel like a fraud. Except now I'm pregnant. Now I'm playing at being a lady, and I'm good at it. Play. Verb. Engage in activity for enjoyment and recreation rather than a serious or practical purpose. The children were playing by a pool. Maternity leave, and I'm watching all my favourite cartoons while the baby in my belly presses into my pelvis. The sky is full of hot air, and the rain is staying away, and the kids play in the sprinklers, and school is back in session, and the temperature is rising. It's 2 days past my due date, and I want to fill up the birth pool with ice and rubber duckies. Wallow. The most common playground-related cause of childhood A&E visits is falling from the equipment to the ground. Children fall because they slip, lose their grip, or because they're children playing on monkey bars, swings, slides, merry-go-rounds, and seesaws. I'm slipping, falling, losing myself in the overdue heat wave, no water, death, anxiety space where everything feels like labour or like Braxton Hicks or like the end of now and the beginning of something too holy. That virgin whore thing has it all wrong. The most divine and feminine I'll ever feel is 9 months pregnant being fucked by a man who whispers his devout little prayers to God. Rough and tumble play is when children do things like climb over each other, wrestle, roll around, or even pretend to fight. I'm not fighting with the medical staff, not insisting on my pronouns. Is there anything more woman than being a mother? I'm here playing dress up, not trying to be me. There's blood on the pad, blood on her glove. Stretch and sweep, a sacrament. She touched my baby's head. They're coming any day now.
Thank you, Jem. This next poem is probably similar, is similar in kind of preoccupation with the former, in that I've been really, really obsessed with my son's language and language acquisition. And he has developed so much beyond this poem. I wrote this a year ago now. And he still says a few of them, but some of them have not only gone from his vocabulary, but they went from my memory too, until I opened up the book again and I remembered. This is called Taxonomies. Nenes. Horses, zebras, unicorns, also seahorses. Sometimes giraffe, gazelle, donkey, and alpaca. Occasionally, by mistake, cows, moo-moos. R2, airplanes, elephants. Nanas, bananas, the childminder's assistant, crescent moons. Balls, full moons, planets, bubbles, balloons, all balls. Sometimes, ball. Mine, Mama's phone, found on a surface, held out to Mama, demanding to be taken, wanting to help. Knack, anything that isn't fruit or vegetable or cheese or vaguely like any food you would serve for breakfast, lunch, dinner. You know which cupboard they're kept in. Like to share. Bees, flies, ants, bugs, and, well, bees. Bugs, ladybugs. Berry, with an exclamation or a smile. Raspberries are your favorite, but strawberries, blackberries, blueberries also count. Delighted, you see strawberries everywhere. Bus, all the buses, all of them. Red bus, school bus, double-decker bus, Volkswagen Peace bus, antique bus, Appa bus, CC bus. Also, at night or first thing in the morning, I love you too. Mama. You are mummy and mama. Also, any person, animal, or object that is the larger of the two, the smaller of which is baby. Adjective. Anything belonging to mummy or mama. For 2 weeks after my mom visits, mommy and mama. Mostly now, mama and mama. 2 mamas. Baby. You. Baby, it was always you.
Okay, so I think we now have just one poem each left before we get to the end of our set. I just want to say huge thanks to Jem and Erica for agreeing to be a part of this adventure with me when sort of Colin got in touch to do a follow-up. And obviously huge thanks to Colin for kind of believing in our work and giving us the opportunity again to put this together. And thank you to all of you who have given up your sunny Sunday evening to come and listen. So it's really appreciated. Thank you so much. Now this next one of mine, I don't know if any of you are looking at the Google document that was shared with our poems, but if you're not, this is the one that where you might want to, because this is actually a palimpsest poem. So it's sort of my poetic text over the top of some other text, and the text underneath, which I'm not going to read, but is sort of there to give it the context, is an article that was written about some changes that the Italian government made to the law just over a year ago. So obviously you'll be aware that the far right are kind of increasing in Europe. Italy has always had very poor rights for LGBTQ couples and individuals, and has taken the step of actually stripping the rights of queer parents in terms of actual legal recognition on birth certificates. So this obviously affects me and our family, affects our daughter, because every time that we go into Italy to visit family, we get questioned because I am not legally able to be recognised as my daughter's parent. So this is a poem about that situation. And having just come back from Italy earlier this week to visit family, we had similar kind of questioning. So I felt that I wanted to read this one today. There is a fair amount of Italian in the text. I'm hoping that it doesn't need translated. I'm also aware that my pronunciation is pretty appalling still. So apologies to those of you. Luckily, my wife actually isn't listening for butchering the Italian pronunciation. Okay. Passport control. Italian far-right government limits parental rights of same-sex couples. Al controllo passaporti. Dici l'ufficiale. È registrata? My wife looks at him, then at me, carrying our daughter, and says, "No, non è possibile." It is not possible to meet the requirements of Italian law to document all children born, whether in the motherland or abroad, and allow my half-Italian daughter not only a passport, but to officially exist. The government have declared that without a mother and a father, the forms are null and void. But there is no father for our child. Sperm and egg do not make a parent. People make parents. E l'amore lo rende possibile.
think one of the things that's overlapping about our kind of the poems in this collection and in our lives is so many different things in terms of sexuality or gender or binational coupledom. And even though the laws are different between the US and the UK in my family versus Italy and the UK for JP's, that poem deeply resonates with me and the fear I feel at border control anyway. So thank you, JP, for writing that. I'm gonna end with my final poem is, I mean, so many of these poems are love poems to my son, but this one came to me as a fragment to be expanded late night in the months of parenthood, who knows when. This one is called Salt. Salt of the earth, the sea, bleeding, seeping, sinking, failing to feed you from my flesh, floor under knees, holding you tender to my chest, nap time, bedtime, at your crib, 2 in the morning, the waves of ways you catch me, crab, octopus, oyster of my eye, we can go anywhere, my sweet. Across the bed, the flat, onto pavements, buses, cinemas, where I once strolled and breathed and waited. All the years and hands beyond this now, where dancing laughter sings, and I would know the salt of you. Thank you, JP and Jen.
I love that, and I love the shape of it on the page. So yeah, everyone, hopefully people that have signed up for this took advantage of Colin's very kind offer to get a copy for £5. Fingers crossed. Hope people are reading along from their actual books. So this is the last poem of the set, and actually to kind of bookend the whole thing quite nicely, it's actually the last poem that I wrote. I wrote most of it before Rory came, but I had to hold out for the very last stanza, and you'll see why as I read the poem. So actually, I think it was about 5 days post-birth, I went, right, I better finish this poem, get this last stanza done, and get it sent across to the other two. So yeah, this is transparent. Oh, there's a cool little nerd reference in here for anyone, Ian, that will get it. It's February 22nd, 2023. I'm at my 12-week scan. Baby is wriggling, waving tiny arms and showing tiny bum. My partner's face awed. It's December 28th, 2022. My tongue hurts right on the tip. I Google it, a folate deficiency, but it takes 2 days for me to work out what's happening and to take a pregnancy test. It's 10 p.m. and the 2 lines appear straight away. My partner's face, dumbfounded. It's July 12th, 2023, and the nurse says he when talking about the baby at the scan, but I'm not sure that I didn't say it first because I've only been pregnant with a boy before, and although it's 8 years since, it's a habit. It's January 25th, 2023. I'm at my booking appointment for my second baby. The list of questions never ending. Weight, height, BMI, is your partner supportive? At no point do they ask my pronouns. Are you a boy or a girl feels redundant when I'm gestating a human. I'm told by the press it's offensive to scores of mothers who are insistent that only she's can give birth. It's November 10th now. There's a circulatory system walking through the kitchen. No, wait, that's Dr. Manhattan. It's January the 5th, 2023, and there is a circulatory system in my uterus. It's August 28th, 2023. I'm 38 weeks and 5, same time that my firstborn came. There's no sign of baby. I break open two spiky green shells and reveal white and brown conkers. They're not ready yet. It's April 20th, 2023. We announce I'm pregnant on social media. It's a baby! I cringe at the thought of announcing the gender of someone who isn't here yet and hasn't made up their mind. It's just the same as shrieking, "They've got a cock or a pussy!" in the high street. It's September 14th, 2023. Baby bleeds onto my nursing top after a heel prick test. My milk has come in and my blood pressure drops dramatically, causing me to shake uncontrollably. Inept circulatory system. It's January 6, 2023. I am writing my birth plan, copying and pasting from my 8-year-old birth plan. It's July 26, 2015. I am writing my birth plan. In July 26, 2023, I am writing my pronouns onto my birth plan. It's every day of my pregnancy. Doesn't she look great? Isn't she carrying well? The Birth Buddy app talks about he or she when talking about the baby. My 7-year-old is asked if he wants a brother or a sister, but he just says he wants a sibling. It's July 12th, 2023. My 32-week scan shows that I can have a home birth. I book the birthing pool and get asked my pronouns for the first time in my pregnancy. It's August 23rd, 2023. My granddad Barry passes away after 15 weeks in hospital. The phrase "one in, one out" plays on a loop in my head while the baby does the jitterbug inside me. It's September 9th, 2023, 2:46 a.m. After only 2.5 hours labouring at home, I squeeze one last time and push out my baby girl into the birthing pool. Thank you. I'll hand back to Colin.
Thanks, Jem. Thanks, Erica. Thanks, JP. Yeah, I loved this collection from the first moment it was sent over. As everybody here can attest now, there is profundity to it, there's humour in it, there's universality in it, then there's kind of the personal, which kind of draws it together, and all the poems riff off each other. They work well together, but also they stand alone, which is a really good testament to the skill that you three have as writers. So yeah, I just want to echo your thanks to say thank you to you for sending this over and for kind of giving me such an easy ride in terms of accepting it and putting it out there. It's fabulous, and I'm pretty sure it'll do well in all the reviews and everything once it hits the shelves. Okay, so thanks so much. I'll let you go and enjoy the last hour and a half of sunshine. Again, thanks to Erica, JP and Jem. Thanks to everybody for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed the evening and see you all soon. Take care, everybody.